Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tania and I have been living undiagnosed for more than 11 years. Now I normally film in my living room, however I've had a very rough day and filming in bed is just what's easier for me. This is video number 3. Last video we went over the tests and results that I went through between 2009 and 2017. Today I am going to talk to you about 2018, 2019, and current. To further assess my symptoms that are very similar to seizures, I was sent to an epilepsy clinic. This is where I stayed for 8 days, 7 nights and 8 days. They did 24/7 monitoring, including video, neurological monitoring. I had machines connected to me. There was wires everywhere. I was connected to the wall. I was plugged in. Yes, so they plugged me in for 8 days. So the purpose of this test was to rule out epilepsy. And that's what they did. They ruled out epilepsy. So my results, when I went to meet with the neurologist there, he told me that although they were not epileptic seizures, there were spikes on the neurological charts, which means that it was not in my head. He guaranteed me. Somebody tells you this is in your head, well, guess what? They're wrong. This is really happening. So I'm not manifesting the symptoms, is basically the end result. So I asked, where do I go from here? And I was told, there's only one place that I can refer you to, and it is a psychological neurologist, so somebody that deals with neurological symptoms as a result of some sort of a psychological trauma. Right, so I was added to a waiting list, and guess what? To this day, I have yet to receive my appointment. I have called a couple of times to confirm where I am on the list. I was told a couple of weeks ago that I am number 29 on the list now. Because of COVID, they lost, 5 months. They had to shut down. So now I'm hopeful that I will get an appointment in the next 3 months. So while I've been waiting for the psychological neurologist appointment, I started to do a little bit more digging on my own. So in 2019, in the summer, I contacted a naturopathic facility. And I told them I have an undiagnosed medical condition that is neurological, and I would like to see a naturopathic doctor, thinking, maybe a naturopathic doctor has a different approach that could help. They said when I called, why don't you go to our neurological chiropractor instead, as we refer all of our neurological patients to the neurological chiropractor. So I said, what the heck is a neurological chiropractor? Well, apparently in somebody that specializes in your entire body, began with the chiropractic method, of doing adjustments and the mobility of your back and your spine. And they moved along to focus their education on your neural pathways, your neurology. So I'm like, okay, I don't see how this is going to help me, but I'll give it a shot. So I did. I went to see him. Very nice man, very intelligent, very thorough in his investigation. Looked at all my results. We had, I think it was hour and a half initial appointment. The end result of that, not really end result, but his findings were basically that my episodes are brought on by looking up. We discovered that if I look up with my eyes or with my head, just moving my chin up, that it would bring on the wave of numbness and, progress with the symptoms from there. Okay, so looking up. We did some tests in the clinic as well as at home. And sure enough, whenever I just look up with my eyes or raise my chin, it's causing these seizure-like episodes. So it's pretty bizarre. But still, also, any kind of physical activity is causing them. And we've kind of figured out that a lot of it is by my neck position. So my question then was, well, what do I do? Like, what is this? I know I was told this Chiari malformation, the brain going down my spinal cord or spinal column, is not causing pressure on my spine, and it is not causing these seizure-like episodes. But yet you're telling me that these episodes are brought on by looking up, which is because of the pressure on the back of my neck. So now I've got two different opinions. So what we worked on was, he wasn't able to do a whole lot for me in terms of like surgeries or medications or anything. We worked on strengthening my neurological responses, doing eye tests and, follow my finger from side to side. And I think it helped to some degree, but honestly, there was no moment of miraculous, hey, I'm better now. So I did a lot of trial and error, things like, wearing a hat to remind me not to look up, and it helped. I've learned that, the cleaning and stuff is because of the way I'm moving. So the way I'm looking up, the way I'm reaching for things, the way I'm bending down. I can't do the laundry because when I bend down, it's putting pressure on my spine. So everything that he said makes so much sense to me. So I take this information back to my family doctor and I say, hey, this neurological chiropractor is suggesting that it's the pressure on my spine. I said, now, the neurologist told me that I have Chiari malformation. Could this not be what's causing all of these episodes? So after a lot of digging and research, he wanted some time to kind of review everything again before he moved forward with the next step. So he ended up deciding to send me to another neurologist. Now, waiting for that appointment took a very long time. This was November of 2019. So they referred me, and I finally got in just this past September. Sorry, not September. It was supposed to be September. They moved it in to August. So finally, it's August. I get into a new neurologist. So when the doctor referred me to the neurologist, my understanding was that I was going to receive a confirmation whether or not I needed a decompression surgery for Chiari malformation. So in the midst of waiting for the neurologist appointment, I ended up going for testing for a gluten problem. I was having some digestive issues and I thought, hey, why not get tested? Well, guess what? Turns out I'm gluten intolerant. So in addition to having these seizure or stroke-like episodes, I also have to change my diet. Now, they also told me being celiac means it could potentially cause some of the symptoms I'm experiencing, but there's no way really to know for sure until I spend some time on this gluten-free diet and see if anything improves. So after 2 months or so, 2.5 months being on this gluten-free diet, the only thing that's really changed for me is some of my fatigue has lessened, and also I can look at a computer screen for longer and I can stay up a little bit later. So most of it's like the fatigue aspect of it has improved, but these seizure-like episodes have not changed. Alright, so August 2020. I go to the new neurologist. He's a generalized neurologist. He doesn't specialize in Chiari malformation or anything. He specializes as a neurologist. So the first thing I can say about this generalized neurologist, he was very thorough. He spent a lot of time digging into all of my test results, my history, the symptoms. We sat down for about half an hour and talked about my story from start to finish. Then he did a neurological assessment, follow my finger. He gets to the top and boom, I get numbness, I get hands shaking, everything. So, my hand's kind of doing the piano hand thing and my other hand is clamping like this and I'm numb and my speech is kind of slurred. A few other things happened. So then I sit down and he says, all right, well, I can't help you. He says, it's not your Chiari malformation, you do not need surgery, and there's nothing further that I can do for you. So the other thing he said was that it could very possibly be something emotional. So after hearing what the neurologist had to say, I was frustrated because I had already come to the conclusion and the acceptance that I was going to need a brain surgery. And then to have him tell me, I can't help you and you do not need surgery, it was really hard to hear. And I said, okay, so now what? Where do I go from here? And he says, well, I can't do anything for you. All I can tell you is that you don't need brain surgery. Most Chiari patients that go to see him end up bedridden and on disability with major headaches and being unable to function normally. So apparently I'm doing better than other Chiari patients, and therefore his opinion is that I do not need the surgery. Sorry about the background noise. Family's doing dishes. So after learning that I'm not going to get help from that neurologist, I decided to go back to my plan from 2019 and see a naturopathic doctor. So as of right now, I've had the initial phone meeting. I had a phone meeting, and he wants me to get checked for heavy metals poisoning. So now I'm going to do a test over the weekend, and we have to mail it away and wait for the results. His first initial thought is, hey, it sounds like metals poisoning. Something that we haven't really considered. So that's where I am with that. So we're going to wait for the test results and rule that out. And if everything comes back clear, then we're going to move to the next step, which at this point, I have no idea what the next step is. It's been 11 and a half years and 3 neurologists, sleep specialists, EEGs, EKGs, CT scans, MRIs, Holter monitor tests, stress tests, and you know what? I have no idea where I'm going next. So thank you for joining me, and stay tuned for my next video in about 1 to 2 weeks from now, where I'm going to talk about one supplement that has helped me at least a little bit with some of my symptoms. So if you like watching my video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and we'll see you again soon.